Well, hello. Thank you for visiting my YouTube channel and welcome to Women of Wisdom Wednesday Weekly. That was a mouthful, wasn't it? Today I want to talk about Noahide Women, the Centre for Home Affairs. I'm sure most women would, who have a house and or home, family, would identify with this regardless of your faith. But let's get right into this now. Most women live and function nowadays in two worlds. Not all, but most women. That means that many women now have an external job or career outside of the home. And then, of course, they come home and they have to be multitasking and suddenly then become the diplomatic Minister for Home Affairs. And this is really often overlooked in the real wide world of today. Certainly women have many opportunities and advantages today that they didn't a few decades ago. But the real truth of the matter is that women are still running a household, a home, a family, and doing exceptionally well in careers or jobs. Some of them at the peak, at the top of their game, so to speak. So let's get on with this now. By nature, women are connecting and nurturing beings. They are, regardless of their position in society, this is. So set everything else aside. Generally speaking, women have this natural instinct to network, to ask questions, to be interested in what other people are doing, to ask the right questions, so to speak, and gain a lot of information that sometimes it takes men a long time to gather. Women are great at filtering and networking and teasing out information. That's just part of us being a woman. So we also know that most women anyway have this value or this ability to reason and to understand there is a value both internally and externally to every human being. But women recognize that. They know that sometimes what you see in a situation is not exactly the inner person, or that old saying, what you see is not always what it is. And so women have an ability to understand that because we do work with our feet in both worlds at times. So how we behave and what we do in a work situation, that work persona, is different to what we are like at home. But what I want to concentrate here is that our female intuition tells us that there are two sides to people. And so therefore, and that includes me, there's an external persona, there's the public persona, and then there's the private me and you, how we behave at home. We're in the comfort and in the safety of our own home. And this is really what's important, because that you that is in the heart of the home, the Minister of Home Affairs, is really the truth of what then drives, motivates, and elevates that person that you are also in the outside world, in the work world. So it's the inner you that is the core of who you are. And women have this inner voice too. We hear with this we can hear this inner voice that keeps saying to us, you know, what really matters is your internal person, that internal part of you, you at home, you with the family, you with the children, that private you without that external public figure. So, you know, I know because I've spent years in the workforce, as many of you would, and you know how you front up. Let me just give you a funny example. If you came to work and were overtaking a shift, you know, handover, and things weren't really tidied up the way they should be, you'd sort of, while they're talking, you're starting to rearrange things a little bit, give them the hint, you know, that things should be just, you know, that should be a bit set up a bit different. And usually they get the hint, or sometimes they don't, but you still do it. But when you get home, if you find the kids are strewing shoes all over the place, the first thing you say is, children, shoes, mess. You know, we all have a different persona. You know, we say things a bit differently when we're in the comfort of our own home, because our family know we're not rousing when we say that. We're not being angry. We're just saying, I haven't got time to explain. Just pick up your mess, put your stuff away. So you at home are that private person without your external facade, and you have value. That's what you have to understand. You have endured struggles privately in your life, and with dignity. You have given freely what you could barely afford at the time, be it your physical time, or charity, or you know, buying something for, you know, that you really couldn't afford for someone, but it had to be done. So just think, that value, you don't understand the value that has on you also spiritually. So that giving, those private struggles that you have, but you do them with dignity, and you give freely of your time, and even if you can't afford your time, you allow that to happen. You feel you can't ignore that. That has to be done. That's the private you. And that's, as I said, it's not to be, how shall I say, undermined or overlooked in any way. I'm having a little bit of a struggle here. I've got a little bit of breeze coming in, and I think it might be time now for me to pause and have a cup of tea. I bought a new brand of tea. It's called green tea. I can't say as I'm exactly blown away by its fragrance or anything like that, but it's tea anyway. All right. Now, the world, it generally sets values on the external. So the world outside, that world that you're going to work in outside the home, it's looking at things from an external point of view. You know, it's looking at the machine, not all the cogs and parts that make it up. It's looking at you, the person, the image, the external, not what's deep in your heart, or what your conscience is about, or your principles. It's looking at your input and output in the work field. So the other thing that we have to understand about ourselves also is that our value is our values are what we, and our value in terms of our self-worth is through all those experiences we've had throughout life, where how we have behaved towards others, the person we have become through experiences. It's the person we are on the inside as a result of those life experiences. I have a personal philosophy. I've had it ever since I was a young girl in high school, and that is that all of life's experiences serve to groom the mind and temper the soul. And I lived by that. I understood that at a young age, and I just have carried that with me. And there are times in a day or in stages in my life I have had to retell that to myself, that all of my experiences are they're grooming my mind and tempering my soul. So I never forget that Hashem has, is a big part of my life. So this means that our values are what we have learned through our personal experiences, be they good or bad, and how we have behaved towards others during different circumstances. And the person we have become on the inside is that result of those experiences, and hopefully, of course, it is an improved version. We've improved ourselves. We've become better at understanding, better at giving, better at receiving, more gracious when dealing with people. So I guess what I want to stress here is that remember that the Messiah, the Messiah, some say, will come on the merit of women. Now that is a very important thing for all women to grasp, for all mankind to grasp. We know that. Women are at the forefront of bringing the Mashiach, and that includes all women of all nations, of all cultures, races, etc., and faiths. So we as Noahide women need to keep that firmly fixed in our mind. Hashem will come, Mashiach will come on the merit of women. And he is waiting, Hashem is now waiting for the women, for the righteous women of the nations, and the Jewish women as well, but the righteous women of the nations. He's waiting for our whispers, the whispers of our women, to reach heaven. And that is our task. We must remember what an important task it is, and we must live by that. So how we are externally in our job, how we are at home, they are all reflections of how we are bringing in the Mashiach, how we are bringing that time closer. So I want you all to be very mindful of how important women are in the world as regards peace, harmony, be it in the home, in the workforce, and certainly in terms of the world. We do have an important role. We have an instinctive and an intuitive place in our corner of the world, in the street where we live, in the workforce that we're part of, in our own home. And that one of the things we need to prioritise is that the Mashiach will come on the merit of things I and other women are doing, how we're behaving, our prayers, etc. So I would like to leave you with this thought, and that is to be a prayer voice for the nations. Be a prayer, come together, let's hasten the coming of Mashiach. And don't forget, you as a woman, your value in your home and in your workspace, you have great value for all of mankind. Don't underestimate it. And please keep up all the good work you beautiful women and young girls are doing. Please take care, and God bless.